Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of our Claws and Fangs and Revolvers, our Wild West Werewolf the Apocalypse game. I am the Ravnos Archon. My name is Will, and I'll be your storyteller this evening. And as always, before we meet our last member of the pack, out in the wilds of the American West, there is a town that rose up out of necessity. Conflict. Conflict was founded and named not for the bloodshed that it would become known for, but for the trouble of coming up with a proper name for a city in this day and age. Founded for its mining veins, Harold Penterton and Bartholomew Syrex have worked industrially hard at making Conflict a gateway city, a stop on the way to California, a stop on the way out west, where every opportunity is laid out for people. It has been 12 years since the end of the Mexican American War, 12 years since the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo that divided the western portions of the United States into Arizona, Nevada, Utah, Colorado, where our story takes place. The Colorado Territory has seen an influx of pioneers, of settlers, and of those just looking to make their fortune in one way or another. It has been 2 years since the Pike Peaks gold rush began. As the saying goes, there's gold in them there hills. Sitting in the shadow of Culebra Peak, Conflict stands to make the right people rich, and with greed slithering through the streets like the namesake of the mountain looming over them, we will be honing in on a group of people from disparate walks of life, from far-flung and neighboring territories, and with only one thing in common. They are Garou, the werewolves of myth and legend born of two worlds and not belonging to either. This is a tale of wants. This is a tale of needs. This is a tale of the horror that comes from choosing one over the other. The Sombra Escondida cairn is watched over by a worried group of Wendigo, Uktena, and Red Talons. Stories of the white man have circulated, stories about how they bring ruin and the weaver in their wake, stories about how they allow themselves to be seduced by the worm, and stories about how the wild weeps with every conquering step they take. The town of Conflict has and will live up to its name. The land stirs as the trampling of boots, the hammering of iron, and the hoots and hollering of men replaces the barks and howls and yips of the wolves. Progress comes to Conflict. Main Street comes to life with the rising of the sun and is lively well into the moon's claim of the sky. Farmland is plentiful, mining is bountiful, and the liquor is abundant. But a storm is on the horizon. Thunder rolls like the heavy wheels of a wagon train. Lightning cracks like a chorus of whips on the railroad, and the darkening of the sky creeps ever closer to Conflict, Colorado. Tonight, we get to meet the final member of our pack, the Black Fury Ahroun that we know as Kora Leventhis. Tell me a little bit about Kora. Who is she? What has she done? How did she end up in Conflict?
Well, to put it simply, desperate times and desperate measures led her to conflict. Opportunity as well. Cora was born in New York City to a family of Grecian immigrants. Her grandmother was a well renowned theurge of the Black Fury. She was raised to believe family above all. It was very insular. She was taught about Pegasus, the legends, the myth and strength of her clan, even before she had her transformation.
She's the middle child. There's there's nothing but women after the firstborn male until Cole comes around, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Where are you? Are you right before Cole or are you right before Amara?
believe I'm trying to think right now. Believe I was right before Cole.
Okay, so you were the last female until Vanessa came around.
Hmm.
Okay. So you had come from a big family. We know that you
Hmm.
have a favorite cousin named Iris who was there at your first change. Um,
Hmm.
did you leave her a widow, or did the message get across before something terrible happened?
What I think happened is that Iris eventually got in the way. And seeing Iris is what brought the rage back down to a simmer.
Gotcha.
And so he's definitely a changed man.
I would hope so. Um, what traits do you think attracted you to Omari?
Mm.
And are they the traits that you still look for, or have you also learned a lesson from that?
It was free thinking, free caring. There was just this gentleness to him that Cora hadn't seen before. Someone that didn't look at her just as, a black fury, but saw the person within, the hopes, the dreams.
How,
And
go ahead.
oh, I was gonna say she did learn a lesson to ask about priorities,
Yeah,
about loyalty.
yeah. That was my next question is how much of a gut punch was him leaving her?
It's still causes frustration, even to this day. It has been quite some time since that incident happened,
Mhm.
but I don't think that she ever believes she'll be able to love again, or at least trust to that level.
Has he ever reached out to you, do you think? Or is it just he cut his losses and that was it for him?
From Cora's perspective, she has no sign, no recourse. There was no message from him.
What auspice was he?
He was a theurge.
Oh, so he has it within his power to send you a spirit at any point in time,
Hmm.
and he has it. Tell me about Layla and Garrett. Who are they to you, and how do you picture them?
Layla is she's a ginger, straight up fiery red hair, freckles. I think she stands about 5'2" in my imagining, but she will knock you on your ass if you push her the wrong way. And I think that's why Cora liked her, is that no nonsense gumption. And they worked together at the Crested Star before coming to conflict.
Mhm.
This partnership, it was camaraderie brought together. Garrett, the best way to say it, he knows business. He knows money, and he definitely has the problem that most humans have, is that they have that hole. in their heart. They're always wanting more. He's greedy. That's the best way to put it. And he's probably about 6'2", blonde hair, not exactly broad-shouldered. He's kind of lanky. Um, but that's also why Cora watches over him really hard.
Is he someone of a softer constitution, do you think? Like, does he get sick a lot?
Yeah, I would say he's softer constitution.
Okay. And
Mm,
Layla's the complete opposite.
yeah.
I like it.
I I think there's been some jokes about don't make me poison your soup.
Of course.
I could just throw some milk in that soup, Garrett, and you would be reeling for weeks. Don't.
Poor guy. So you've established a brothel. Is it also a
Mhm.
saloon or is it just
It's also a saloon.
okay?
So, cards, drink,
Yeah, a piano.
entertainment. Yeah.
Do you also have a stage or is it smaller fare?
The best way to describe it is there's a small stage with the hopes that, it'll make enough money to where they can be a bigger stage
Yeah.
and maybe put on some actual theatrical shows at some point.
Oh, fancy.
I don't know.
Uh, so unlike the Gold Digger, which is the main port of call here in conflict, it sits on the corner of First Avenue and Main Street. You are just down the avenue. We
Mhm.
we go down. We pass the general store. We pass the bank. We pass the Rutherford Hotel, uh, which is a massive three-story structure that is only rivaled by the Gold Digger in size. We pass the hardware shop, and sitting across from the sheriff's office and the jail and the post office and the telegraph's office is the Gilded Apple.
Mhm.
Walk us through as if we were just coming in for the first time.
Mhm.
How
I'd
does it look to
say
you?
for me it looks beautiful. I think there's a bit of Grecian vaulting, some Grecian styling to the building itself. Like, I mean, it's wood, 2 stories. The building structure itself has a soft green, almost seafoam paint job, and there are gold accents, pretty gold paint accents. There's a outside sitting area that has a overhang. It might be it's definitely not wood. I'm thinking that that overhang is like a cloth kind of drape almost to it.
Yeah.
So people can sit out there and take their leisure, or the girls can sit out there and welcome people in.
Okay. What separates the first floor from the second floor?
The first floor, it has tables. There are couches for sitting. There are obviously tables for card playing. You've got the bar, all nice, fully stocked and presentable. Um, there is a spiral staircase that leads you up to the second floor. And you've got that little bit of a overhang, so some of the girls can stand up there and lean and look out as they see fit. Mm.
How many rooms do you think the apple has? And do you, Layla, and Garrett all live at the apple?
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
I'm thinking it's probably got about 12 to 15 rooms.
Okay. And how many girls do you think you have working for you?
At the moment, probably 8, 9.
Okay. Is it just girls that you offer for entertainment, or do you also offer gentlemen?
The Gilded Apple is equal opportunity.
Excellent. It is the end of summer when we find you. Um, just about the beginning of October, just as fall is starting to really cement itself
Mhm.
in the atmosphere. Things have progressed nicely. The station got approved and it's now being constructed. They expect it to be done before the winter snows come in. Um, Even though the railway itself won't even see the outskirts of conflict until next summer.
Mhm.
The Gold Digger is still the most popular spot in town, um, and some people have come over to check out the location. You know that you might get one or two of the miners as regulars, but whenever they get that big payout, they always end up going somewhere else.
Mhm.
Um, you also know that the doctor in town and the nurse are both part of the cairn. I'm assuming that you have since introduced yourself.
Mhm.
Um, do you have a pack name yet? A guru name?
I do not.
Okay. Um, the in my notes here. Uh, the cairns. Where is she? The cairn's truth catcher, Beatrice Noble, is has helped as a nurse for some time. Um, you know that she is the cairn's truth catcher. She's an Adren of the Children of Gaia.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know if that small fact is going to cause a wedge between the two of you, but she's been nothing but kind. You know that the cairn does not have a keeper of the rights. Um, it does not have a gatekeeper either. And the alpha, as well as the master of uh, challenge, and really the master of howls, um, are all red talon.
Mhm.
How long would you say you've been in conflict?
Year and a half, maybe 2,
Okay.
because it takes time to build
Yeah.
building and
Yeah. So you're relatively new. They still haven't found the pack for you.
Mhm.
Um, and you do know that a lot of the members of the cairn, the majority of the members of the cairn, are lupus, lupus
Mhm.
born. So they kind of look down on the Mohammeds. Um, and you also know that there's no metis at all in the cairn. The last one that was born was killed outright by the cairn's alpha, um, which has kind of solidified in your mind why he's called what he's called, because they call him Bound by Fury.
Mhm.
And he is a red talon Ahroun. Uh, he is definitely orthodox, living by the litany, letter of the law. Uh, he's not a rank 5, though. He's not a full elder. He is an Athro,
Mm.
but he's still one of the eldest in the cairn. You told me that Layla has suspicions about you being something other than just a brothel madam, and that
Mhm.
Garrett is kind of oblivious. What do you think Layla has seen or has heard, or what kind of spurred on her curiosity?
I think it's a mixture of that she has heard some of the things whenever Cora goes to take care of shop or clean up house, when someone has done something wrong to her family in a way, the girls. There have been a couple of incidences.
Would you say that Layla is more involved with the day to day business than Garrett is then?
Yes. Garrett definitely gives me the feel of a accountant, if you get me.
Yeah, he's the money man.
Yeah. He sits back, he'll do the paperwork, he'll make sure everything's on the up and up, you know, and he'll take his enjoyment as he sees, but yeah, he doesn't want to actually go fully into helping run the business.
Does he have a girl that he is sweet on, do you think? Or does he not?
I think
Uh,
he does have a girl that he's sweet on.
oh, okay. And it's somebody at the Apple, or is it somebody from one of the opposing houses?
I think we'll make this interesting. It'll be someone from let's see. I don't want to go straight out for the gold digger. Let's go for the silver star.
Okay. So not
It's a girl there.
not the great white shark, but definitely like a Mako or
Mhm.
hammerhead. Got
Mhm. We'll go spearfishing soon enough.
it. Do you think that Kora has found out about this, or has he tried to keep it a secret? Is he open about the girl that he's sweet on?
I think he's tried to keep it a secret, but there's a lot you can tell from someone's scent.
Hmm.
And that perfume he comes in isn't his usual perfume when he goes.
Yeah. Is Cora above poaching the girl for her own establishment?
No.
Okay.
Cora strongly believes that her establishment will take better care of any girl that's in town.
Of course. So it's the beginning of October. A lot of the miners are coming in uh, earlier as the sun is starting to kind of set earlier. The days are growing shorter, the nights are growing longer. A lot more of them are kind of spending time. Does Kora spend any time behind the bar, or is she more of a walk around kind of management?
Hmm. I think she spends time behind the bar because it makes her seem more approachable.
Yeah,
And also, you can keep your ears open better
for
from there.
sure, for sure. Um, you will have heard then, I think, some of the gossip of uh, the people. Some of the miners are really interested to see one of the new faces coming into town. Um, there's a big talk of there might be an opening for a new tunnel, a new vein that's going to rival what Penterton and Cyrix are doing. And the name being
Mhm.
thrown around is Cartwright.
All right.
Um, you remember from New York that there is a big kind of family. There's a steel industry mogul named Jonathan Cartwright,
Hmm.
who's self-made, kind of came up with the railway as it was being um, pushed out from New York City. He has been trying very hard to make New York the new kind of capital of industry.
Hmm.
Um, let's have you make a roll just to test out your whether or not the dice will be with you.
All right.
Um, and let's have you do an intelligence and we'll say investigation or academics, your choice, um, to see what you can remember for Jonathan Cartwright. What's your extra language?
Uh, Greek.
Oh,
All right.
we'll say difficulty
So,
5.
so 4d10's coming right at you.
Hmm.
Oh, I forgot. Will this sheet actually, if I click on it, will it work? No.
And we can see what the dice are in case you don't want to roll your actual dice. So you got 4 successes.
Ooh,
Um,
that's my
you
luck for the evening.
that's it. You know that Jonathan Cartwright was married to a British socialite. You don't remember her first name, but you know that she comes from the Cadbury family. And you do remember Jonathan having at least one child.
Mm.
Uh,
So it's fair enough to make an assertion that maybe he's related to those Cartwrights.
well, unless it is Jonathan Cartwright himself
Mm-hmm.
who has come over from New York City. Um, if he is, that would be a big boon for the city. The
Mm-hmm.
Cartwright name carries a lot of weight um, in the railroad industry. Um, so it'd be something to look into. Nobody, as far as the people that are talking about him, nobody has seen him, so they don't know if it is Jonathan Cartwright. They just know that the name Cartwright was on one of the ledgers for one of the wagon trains that has come into town over the last week. We've also heard of this being a rather interesting and busy week, as uh, it's starting to be one of those weeks as far as commercialism is concerned, as people are starting to come in before the snow starts to cut off travel. Uh, and so this is when you start to see what conflict is really all about, and you can start to see the hustle and bustle. Um, even as morning is cresting, you already have like people sitting down. Um, do you think that you keep your doors open 24/7, or do you like close up at some point?
I believe I close up shop at some point, probably in the wee hours of the morning.
Okay. So yeah, so you'll have people kind of waiting at the outside sitting area until the doors open so they can come inside and
Hmm.
kind of warm up. Um, but yeah, the days are getting busier. Um, and at one point, do you think um, Layla has an accent? Does Garrett have an accent? How do they sound in your head?
This is going to be kind of funny, but Layla had an accent when I first met her that has since kind of mellowed out. And
Okay.
I've kind of poked her about that because I think it's partially funny and to also to remind her, hey, don't lose your heritage.
Do you think
Don't lose what
that
made.
she is trying to become more American?
Yeah, I think there's that distinctive. She is trying to lose it on purpose.
Okay.
And it's no, what makes you you? You're from Ireland. Come on.
Yeah. And what about Garrett? Where's Garrett sit as far as like voice for you?
He's he's kind of got a medium timber tone. He best way to put it is he seems very good old country boy,
Okay.
except, and like he got picked on a lot by his brothers,
Oh,
kinda.
all right. I think I know where he sits in
Mhm.
vocal range. Then he's around here.
Yeah.
Um, you see him come out of his office slash room. Uh,
Mhm.
he just kind of comes over to you at the bar. There's maybe two other people who are one's on the couch, kind of just sipping on some whiskey. The other one's at a table, just kind of staring out as the Sunday morning kind of creeping up over the horizon. Uh, but Garrett comes over, puts some paperwork in front of you. He's just like, uh, I don't know what we're going to do, or but I don't know if we can keep it stocked up with how things are looking. Uh, I mean, the whiskey's fine. We go through that like water, but all these other things, like, we really need another bottle of rum. Do we need another bottle of what is that clear thing there?
You mean Uzo?
Yeah, yeah. What do we need that?
Yes, we need that.
You're the only one that drinks it, Kora. I think it tastes like licorice left over from 2 years ago.
My favorite.
Old
How am I
licorice
supposed
is
to
your
get
favorite?
through? Yeah, how am I supposed to get through the winter without my Uzo?
I mean, you could try whiskey like some of the other civilized people.
Civilized bunch of malakas.
I mean, Layla drinks whiskey just fine.
But that's Layla. I'm I'm sure we can cut some corners and make do.
Oh,
I don't want to.
I
I'm
mean,
gonna
neither,
drum up some more business.
yeah, neither do I. But if you gotta have your Yuzo,
Uzo.
that thing, uh, then yeah, we'll maybe have to cut back on the rum and what is this Russian thing here? This potato one?
Oh, vodka.
Yeah, I haven't seen it move since we ordered it, so maybe put these two aside for some time.
Maybe. We'll see how things go. Because I understand business is business, and if it's not moving, why should we buy more?
Yeah, maybe we could cut back on a cask or two of the ale, maybe.
Now you know them miners love that stuff.
Yeah, I know. Right.
If we can convince them to buy whiskey, maybe.
I mean, yeah, yeah. Uh, what if we figure out a way to pair the two, that way we don't lose out on them?
Good idea. You can take a glass of ale,
Hmm,
shot of whiskey,
hmm.
drop it in, drink the whole thing. We can make it a
You think
whole
people go for
selling
that?
strategy. I think so, especially the ones that don't usually drink whiskey that much. Might cover the taste.
Yeah, yeah. Let me see what that tastes like then. And you see him sit down like he's a customer. I
A
swear,
pint of ale?
if I vomit though, it's on you.
It's on you and your weak ass constitution, Garrett.
Oh, uh, told you I'm a city boy. I'm not used to being out in the wilderness like this.
It's okay. You'll get there. You'll deal. We'll get you in spurs in no time.
Oh, from your lips to the devil's ears, and may that never happen.
And she pours the pint, sets it down, and she takes the shot of whiskey and she just drops it in. Go on, drink.
Oh my God, I'm gonna drown. And you see him just try as best as possible to take the two of them together. Uh, but it is slow. It is sloppy. Uh, it is probably like a college freshman trying to do a Jaeger shot for the first time, like just a Jaeger bomb. Uh, he pinches his nose at one point. He tries to just down it, and he leaves a little bit in the cup, and he just kind of exasperatedly just breathing out. Oh, that tastes terrible. But I think we can sell that for $1.
We could work it. We can make it like a competition thing.
Oh, I don't think anybody's gonna want to competitively drink that thing down.
You left a little, Garrett.
Yeah, and that'll stay there, I think. Oh, and you see as he tries to push himself up onto his feet, he does wobble. Uh, and I don't know what you want to call that thing, but that almost knocked me on my ass.
Hmm. Think of a good name for it. Hmm.
I get Layla on it.
Yeah, she's good with that.
Yeah. And as he starts to wobble back towards his room, uh, you see Miss Noble come over
Hmm.
and just kind of slides in front of you. Oh, Miss Leventis,
Miss Noble.
it's a pleasure to see you again.
What can I help you with?
Well, it's more of how can I help you, I think. We've recently received word of some new additions to the cairn. We're wondering if maybe you would like to participate in introductions.
Of course.
Excellent. Uh, you know the way, of course. I don't need to take you, do I?
No, you don't need to take me.
Um, Tonight we'll be going through a round of introductions. Our Master of Howls, of course, will want as many people there as possible. Things are very interesting, I think.
Interesting.
From what I hear, there is a Bonar Ragabash that's coming. Name of Juan Martinez. There's a Wendigo Theurge spirit talker that's come in called Walks with Spirits. Uh, from a little bit further north, um, there's been a Iron Rider. We are so fashionably forward nowadays that we even have our own Iron Rider out here. Look at us.
Well, I guess we needed to expect one.
Well, if they're all the way out here already, then the Weavers are coming.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but, and she kind of leans in. The reason I think it would behoove you to join us uh, is because there's a stargazer that has come in that kind of looks more like your associate, and she kind of points up at the second story balcony where Layla's kind of looking down, just kind of fanning herself and leaning on the railing like
Mm-hmm.
a bored ingenue. Um, but seeing as how you've come to us from very hard a very hard background, I think this one might need your assistance. You see, we have our first metis that's come through, and I fear if no one speaks for her, then the same thing might happen that happened before.
Oh, I'll gladly be there.
Good, good. I'll uh, I'll make
What
sure.
can you tell me about the Metis?
Um, I saw her for a little bit. Yeah, she's about same size, same almost spitting image of your associate there. Just same height, same kind of uh fiery hair. Just a little on the waferish side, a little more compact, as it were. Um,
Mm.
but definitely the has the same markings, the freckles on her face. Uh, I don't understand why she's a stargazer when very clearly she looks like she should be Diana.
Interesting.
Also, does carry a cross on a chain, on a piece of leather strap around her neck, and she does have a Bible with her, so he's one of
Really
those. Hmm.
interesting. Mm.
Your tribe
But
is
yes,
is the most lenient with the Metis, as is mine, so
I'll be there.
I
I'll
figured
speak.
an Ahroun could stand up to another Ahroun, whereas as far as everything goes, even with my title, I just don't think um I carry the same weight with the alpha that someone of your station could and should carry.
I'll be there. I'll stand between. I'll draw the line if need be.
There's a very coy smile that kind of creeps over her face, and she quickly clears her throat and just kind of wipes her mouth away. Or just kind of dabs at it with a handkerchief and then stuffs it in her sleeve again. Excellent, excellent. I'll make sure that it is known that you will be in attendance, um, and I will try to rally as many troops as I can to be voices of reason should the need arise.
That's that's a good idea.
She stops as she pulls herself up to her feet. Would you be opposed, since there are so many new faces coming into town, to maybe leading the pack? Now, you haven't been here long. There might be something to start to earn yourself some credit with said alpha.
During this time, Cora was bussing the bar, if you get me.
Mm-hmm.
And at the moment of leading the pack and earning your place, she definitely stands kind of up to the full her full height,
Mm-hmm.
if that's what the Cairn needs. I will do it.
She reaches out, very gently puts her hand on yours. I think this could be just what you need and what the care needs, if I'm to be honest.
Then I'll help. It's just that soft smile that she has on occasion.
Yeah. And Beatrice kind of nods, and with a quick pat, she brings her hand back to herself, um, and just kind of makes her way out the doors. Uh, Layla, without missing a beat, slides down the corkscrew stairway and rushes over. So, who was that then?
Oh, just from the doctor's office.
Are you sick?
No, but some new people came into town and she was filling me in on some of the gossip.
Are they sick?
One of them might be.
Oh,
But we're getting more fresh faces in conflict here.
you see her take her finger and just kind of trace the O of the open glass that you served for Garrett. And she's like, and how is our friend doing? I saw him almost violently expel his own stomach from within. What did you serve him?
Ale with whiskey
At the same time,
at the same time.
Cora, you almost killed him.
I know I shouldn't tease him as much, but I can't help it. But he was trying to figure out a way for us to be able to serve ale at the same amount of volume as we serve whiskey, so
Is he trying to kill people?
no, I think he's trying to make money.
I never understand that man.
He's already talking about holding off and buying more rum and vodka.
Why? No one drinks it.
That's his point.
Poor man.
Tried to shut me out of my Uzo too.
Does he know that you need that to survive?
I don't think he's figured that out yet.
Maybe go a few days without it and see what he does. Watch him walk on
Oh,
eggshells after that. Tell you what,
you have a point. I am a mite bit irritable
might
without it.
bit. All right.
Come on, Layla, you know me.
And she smiles and she nods. All too well. All right. Let's try to bring in some more customers, I guess, then. And she starts to go over and she plops down in one of the big chairs outside.
Hmm.
And that evening, you make some excuse with Garrett or Layla behind the bar, which Layla's more apt to do than Garrett.
Hmm.
Uh, Garrett has been learning how to play the piano, trying to save some money on piano players. It is not fantastic, but he can play one song really well. Uh, and as you take
As long
off,
as it's not chopsticks.
no,
No
no
chopsticks.
chopsticks in the house. It's like no stairway in a Guitar Center.
Exactly.
And as you take off for the cairn, you kind of go around. You know that you've got to go west out of the town and a
Hmm.
little bit south around the mountain range. There's a trail that leads to the main forest where the Bon is, and the cairn proper has this central massive tree that has this flute that keeps getting carved into it, so it looks like a giant, just wooden throne. There is this deep crimson, almost blood red, pelted wolf sitting there. Um, he looks to be in his lupus form, but even then, he is almost pushing 4 feet. Um, it is a massive specimen of the Ahroun and what the Red Talons can do with the Ahroun kind of auspice. Um, there are a bunch of gathered people there, some that you recognize. Uh, like, you know that the Master of Challenges is there. You know that the Keeper of the Land is there, the Wendigo Philodox. Um, you know that the Caller of the Wild is there, which is an Octana Galliard. Beatrice is there. Uh, you know that the Tail Singer is there, which is an Octana Galliard as well. Uh, you know that the Wormfoe is there, which is a Red Talon Philodox. And you know that the Warder is there, who is the doctor that lives in the town. He's a Shadow Lord, Philodox.
Mm.
Uh, and there's a bunch of other uh, non-titled people that exist in the cairn. As far as Guru are concerned, you see that there's a good turnout of kinfolk, uh, but there are 4 faces that you don't recognize. There are 3 males, 1 female. Um, one of them looks like he's got darker skin, like very sun-kissed, very much uh, kind of walker of the land. Um, Another one does look like the same kind of chocolatey, more Native American skin tone than kind of Sunwalker. Uh, and then there's one person who just happens to be in very fine clothing. One of the males um, looks to be about average height. He looks like what Garrett should look like. Like, he is traditionally handsome. He's got like the brown hair, brown eyes. Uh, Very much reeks of upper echelons of society. But you notice that he's got a bit of a um, Owen Wilson kind of broken nose
Hmm.
that looks like it's his only defect. And then kind of not with them, just a little separated. is this young looking like 5'2", almost immediately reminds you of Layla. Same kind of mousy red hair. She's got a baby face. She looks very lean, almost boyish, fair skinned with freckles. And you notice that there's these very dull green eyes to her. Um, but
Oh.
she is. Whereas the three men are kind of looking at the master of ceremonies, the master of challenges. Excuse me. She's more like tilting her head to the side, away from where all the action is being taking place. Like it's almost like she's more concerned with looking around than she is with looking at him. Um, but as soon as you are introduced, um, and that they are one by one kind of introduced in return, this is where we'll pick up with everybody else, since this is the rest of your pack. So I'd like to thank everybody for joining us. As always, please continue to wear your masks, continue to wash your hands, continue to keep your distance in public. There are new CDC guidelines for what to do if you do manage to get Optimus primed at some point. But you are vaccinated, and you are vaccinated and boosted, of course. So always pay attention to what's happening, because we're always learning what to do with this new normal of ours. If you are watching live, as always, we take mental health here very seriously. So there are some phone numbers that are going to go up, because sometimes it is okay to not be okay. And if you need help, there should be no stigma or taboo about getting it. And the resources should be made available whenever possible. And so if you're watching live, there'll be in the chat. If you're watching on YouTube, it will be in the description box below, obviously. If you're not in the United States, there is a link going up so you can find the resources you need in the area that you're living in. And as always, please do not feel ashamed of asking for help. Some of us have been through a lot this last couple years, and there's no shame in it. So please take care of yourselves, take care of each other. If you're a friend or family member of somebody that's usually a strong or happy-go-lucky personality, please check in on them. You don't know how a simple hello or how are you can change the trajectory of somebody's life. So please take care of yourselves, take care of each other. If you are interested, this Friday we will be dark because of New Year's Eve, so please spend it with your friends and family. Be safe though. Wear your masks, keep your distance from strangers and whatnot. But Saturday, you can see me on McStabber Studios for their Achtung Cthulhu two-shot. That will be this Saturday and next Saturday. Uh, Otherwise, I will see you on Monday for our Camarilla chapter of our Vampire the Masquerade game. If not, next Tuesday is our Legend of the Five Rings. And the Tuesday after, we will get to see our first real episode with the entire pack gathered for Werewolf the Wild West. So until then, please take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and I will see you when I see you.